another episode. Actually, this is not another episode. This is the first episode of season 5. God damn, it's been five fucking
Five
seasons.
seasons.
5 seasons,
That's
man.
pretty awesome.
Damn.
And I'm kicking it off. Right?
And you're kicking it off. I'm here. We're in person and live in Casa de Monte Cristo, and we are having a stogie. This has been a long time coming. We tried over COVID but some technical issues happened.
But we're here now, baby.
But we're here now. We got drunk in between.
Mm-hmm. Couple times.
Got drunk in between, but we're here now. That's all that matters. How have you been? I have here my buddy, my pal. He's a tall lumberjack man. Very nice beard. Beautiful kids. Jordan Davis, how you been?
I've been good, man.
Been
Thank
good?
you for having me.
Yeah,
I am glad that we were able to do this in person.
I know.
I remember the first time we tried. You can't do a cigar podcast over Zoom.
Yeah, and it was in the morning, so it's like
Yeah.
we couldn't have whiskey. We could we could have, but I didn't
People
want people judging me.
frown upon that. But yeah, this is the way to do it.
I didn't want anyone judging me. So now here we are at a cigar shop, having some good ones, having a flathead. You like that, huh?
And this is the first time I ever had it. But that's a great cigar.
Yeah, it's nice and smooth.
Yeah.
This is normally what I smoke anyway.
And definitely didn't think so. I usually go for like a lighter, Connecticut wrapper.
Do you really?
But so when you brought this in, I was like, we'll see. But it's not like a stout cigar.
No. And this is like, so someone just gave me. I had one of the best cigars in the stuff because I don't remember the name for it. But over Christmas I did a Secret Santa, and obviously I'm like the easiest person to shop for because you can just buy me some cigars and I'd be happy.
You're happy.
So they gave me like a $45 cigar.
Jeez.
And in my mind, I'm like, I could just get like 6 or 7 of these damn things.
Yeah.
For what you just paid for. Mm-hmm. But it was probably one of the best cigars I've had. It lasted an hour long. I was an hour into it, and I had to stop smoking because at that point I was like, I'm gonna go to sleep now.
I have other things I need to do.
Other things I need to do, and I've actually restarted it twice since.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a great stogie.
I don't know what stogie. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but I have had to restart it twice since.
Yeah.
And still going.
Still a great cigar.
Still a great cigar.
I had one. It's the Davidoff small batch. I actually got them from Luke. So Luke Bryan's got a spot in 30A.
That's right. I heard about that.
Yeah. Sure Thing cigars.
Yeah.
And he brought them up, and the first one I ever had from him, like we were playing golf, and he gave me one, and then we just got back from duck hunting, and we duck hunted for 2 days, and I probably smoked 6 of those cigars.
Jeez.
We'd have one in the morning, like duck hunting, which is a new thing of mine. Anybody out there that duck hunts, I would have never thought cigar in the morning or cigar and duck hunting. Well, I mean, I knew like people that smoke cigars and duck hunting, but like very seldom do I wake up and it's like 6:45 in the morning and I'm like, you know what I want? A cigar. Like,
I did that a couple times. Like I woke up and it was like I think it was in the summertime, and the sun is it's coming up. It's not dark anymore like it is now.
yeah.
And I sat on my balcony and I had me. I'm pretty sure in my previous life I was an old white man. I had
just sit on your porch and watch the sun come
up. Yeah, with some black coffee and a cigar.
It definitely has my grandfather vibes. I can promise you that.
I was an old white man in a previous life, and it's okay. I keep telling people, hopefully I was an old rich white man. We'll find out one day.
Yeah, that's true.
So since we talked about Luke Bryan, let's start off with your most recent number 1 hit.
I know. I feel like I was like a name drop. I didn't mean to do that.
No, it's okay. No, it's all right.
No, but
it's
man,
right.
It's been that song has just. I knew it was special when we wrote it, but it's been pretty cool to see it just connect with so many people. And
I texted you. Remember I texted you when I had your album come out, and I texted you and I said, if you don't release this, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. You
It's
did.
just a fucking smash.
No, it did. It rose his hand quick. Especially when Luke, because Luke, we wrote it as almost like a pitch to Luke. Like I didn't know when I was recording. I didn't know when I was gonna put new music out. So I sent it over to him. Halfway is like, I guess at that time I knew I was gonna record it. I just wanted him to be a part of it. Right. But like when we started writing that song, it was full on like let's try to get something that Luke would cut. And then we finished it, and I fell in love with it. And I was like, well, man, now I just need to get Luke on it.
How quick was the yes from him?
Dude, he made me sweat that one out. and it's like, I guess, like, I think what, I wrote the text out to send to him because, like, me and Luke were new buddies at the time, like, and I didn't want him to think that I was just going to peddle him songs. So the last text I sent him was literally like, hey, man, good to meet with you. Thanks for the cigar. Like, it was that introductory text.
Right.
And then here it is. The next text I'm going to send him is like, hey, man, you want to sing on one of my songs? Which I was just kind of like, damn it, I don't want to do this. But, I sent it to him, and he got, like, right back to me. So he must have listened to it, like, right as I sent it to him. So he checks it out and then gets back to me and was like, dude, I love this song. And I'm sitting there like, oh, God, that was a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. And he calls me. He's like, man, what do you want to do with this? And I was like, man, I want you to sing on it, whatever. And he's like, well, let me think about it and see if I'm right for the song. And he thought about it for about 12 days. Didn't hear anything from him.
He really made
Oh, yeah, man. He made me sweat it out.
Oh,
so,
shit. My thing is that, I always tell people your answer is going to either come to you if you get a quick answer,
yeah,
it's going to be a no.
That's what I was kind of thinking. Like, when I sent it to him, and then, like, I was just like, man, I hope he just listens to it. That's really, I was like, man, I hope he just gives the song a chance. Because, I knew the song was special.
Right.
And when I saw that fast of a response, I was like, oh, that's probably like the old, like, hey, man, I'm not doing collabs, or, hey, man, my record's done. And, like, but, yeah, I mean, he got back to me and wanted to do it.
Jeez. And then you want Crash. Because you were on Crash Reply, yeah?
Yeah.
How was that? How was that shit show? I say shit show because it was fun.
That's a good term.
It's a good term.
Yeah.
I mean that as a term of endearment. Not
right. It's the most fun shit show you could ever be a part of.
Yeah. I'm so pissed I didn't go this year.
It was a lot of fun, man.
I'll be there next year, though.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be on this podcast by the end of the year.
Yeah, dude.
Then
that's who you need on this.
Then I'll be like, hey, let's take me to Crash Reply with you. I'll shoot him a text then.
Yeah. Man, it was that's just such a well-run festival. And, like, dude, that's the festival where I feel like if I was a fan, that would be my bucket list thing.
Because I feel like Tortuga was mine. I didn't know Tortuga was like my bucket list until I went to Tortuga last year. Yeah. And you're doing it this year.
Yeah. Right.
But I didn't know that, and then so I feel like Crash Reply is like one of those where it's like I didn't know that I wanted to go until it was like, fuck. I'm seeing the pictures. I'm like, I should have went, and I was close to going this year.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck.
Well, we did it 2 years ago, but we were like in and out. So like we played the beach party, or no, we got in on like a Thursday and we played the beach stage like Thursday night, and then we did the pool party Friday afternoonish, and then we flew out Friday. So like we were there for under 48 hours, played twice, and just in that short of time, I was like, dude, next time the way to do it is to play Thursday and then close it out on Sunday.
Yes.
Which is pretty much what we got to do this time. So we had like a full day of nothing. Like we, went and caught Dustin Lynch at the pool party. Some of the guys went and saw Low Cash when they did the pool party. I went back and went out and did a song with Luke, or we did By Dirt.
Right.
And I sang a couple covers with him. But Darius came in.
Yeah,
so,
I heard he flew in for that.
Dude. And so, like, I did a song. We did Dirt. We did John Deere Green and Queen of My Double Ride Trailer. And then I got off stage, and then Darius went out with Aldine and Luke. And, dude, they sat on stage and just played acoustic songs for, like, 30 minutes. Darius did a bunch of Hootie stuff. I mean, and I seriously just sat there like, dude, this is, even as a guy that sings and,
right,
knows those guys, it was pretty damn cool to watch. Like,
it's insane when it's like, because those kind of things are like, I wouldn't say no host bars, but like those are like, there's no format. There's no outline format of the show because it's just free. It's just a free for all.
Well, and like
music,
being back there, like I got to see. Like it's funny. So I knew that Luke wanted to do 2 cover songs, and I was like, so I walk in his dressing room before it, I was like, so Luke, man, what do you want? Like, dude, what do you want to do, man? I can do any of these songs. And he literally goes, what I want you to do is chill the hell out. And I was like, well, dude, there's a lot of people out there. This is your show. I don't want to screw anything up. But that's exactly what he's like, dude, what I want you to do is chill the hell out, man.
Just have fun with it.
Yeah.
Just have fun with it, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be a shit show.
And it was a great festival. Anytime you get to see Darius get out there and sing Hootie and the Blowfish song, man, it's pretty awesome.
It's great, isn't it?
God, he's so good.
He's so fucking phenomenal. So you've been touring. You had C4 as your opening act. So how was that fucking tour?
Dude, I love those guys, man.
Yeah. Good Bears. Good Bears is a great fucking song.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I wish I would have wrote that one. But, man, those guys, that would be a good. I don't know if they smoke cigars. They probably do.
I mean, they drink a lot of beer, so
they do drink a lot of beer. But no, man, those guys are great. And Mackenzie Porter let it off,
right?
Like with a huge song too. Like
She
talk
shot
about
one
getting
hit.
Yeah, like getting lucky with timing. Like, God, I mean, Thinking About You was like peaking when she was out. And then Seaforth, man, those guys are like, to be honest with the full band show is awesome.
Right.
And their band guys are great, but like, man, just them like with acoustic guitars, they played a couple of shows just acoustic. And dude, they're just some really talented dudes.
I saw them. They came out and played for my job, and they did an acoustic set.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but, and it wasn't the Australian thing. It wasn't the accent.
Yeah.
But it was more so, I couldn't help but like, it was as if Keith Urban had twin boys.
Right. It's true, man.
That's the feel, and that's like it's the best compliment I can give them. That's the feel of what their music is, which is fucking phenomenal. It's long lasting, clearly. Keith Urban has done a great fucking job with it. But like, I have after seeing them, I've become like a really huge fan of theirs.
Dude, incredible songwriters, like even better guys, man. Just really like down to earth, great guys. So yeah, we had a lot of fun. So
what came into picking your opening acts?
I mean, we always have a few names to look at. I mean, you wish you could take them all out, but at that time, man, I was really, I was actually new to Seaforth. I had just heard. I think I was listening to the Highway, and Breakups came on.
Right.
And I was like, dang, this is like really cool. And I started diving into it, listening to more of their stuff. What locked in Seaforth, I don't even know if I've ever told him this. My wife is a massive fan. So, like, huge Seaforth fan.
Wow.
So, I come in one night, and my daughter and wife are in there cooking dinner. And Seaforth she has it on, like, the Seaforth station. And I was like, you listening to Seaforth? She's like, yeah, I love these guys. I was like, oh, they might come out on tour with me this year. So that was when I was like, the next day I was like, hey, let's go with Seaforth for a support act. And then Mackenzie is just like, you hear the girl sing one time, you're like, yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
That's
a no fucking brainer.
So it was, I wish we could have continued that tour out a little longer, but there's always another tour.
There's always another tour.
That's it.
You can always, Miranda just went back and she's doing her bandwagon tour again with a little big time. So you can always go back.
I mean, that's the thing is like, if you have fun, like, why does it have to be one, like.
Why does it be one specific tour? Why can't you go back? I mean, how many Soul tours were they? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm a huge Tim McGraw and Faith Hill fan.
Yeah.
But it's they do it. It's not just because they're married, but they do it because they have fun on tour. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not keep it to one?
And two, like early on, one of my first tours I went out with was Kip Moore, and I was first of three. So it was me, and then Drake White, and then Kip. And, man, I had a blast. Like, I love being out with Kip. I love Kip's crowd. And I was very appreciative of him letting me, like, those early on tours of, like, being able to build a fan base they're crucial. And then turns around the next year, and then I move, like, go back out with Kip, but move into the direct spot. And Jillian Jacqueline came out with us, which then led for Jillian to come out on my headlining tour. So, like, I hate that it's like, I never want it to be like, well, you toured me once, so you're out of the you're out of the mix, going
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah. Well, clearly, also Kenny broke that rule too because he has Old Domain on every tour.
He does. Which, hey, I would take that.
I would take that any day.
You better believe it. You better believe
Any day to play a stadium, absolutely.
100%.
There's no to that at all. Mm-hmm. So you've been in Nashville for how long?
I moved in 2012.
A lot's changed.
Dude, almost 10 years.
I just hit my 12-year mark.
You've been here for 12 years?
I've been here for 12 years.
Jeez.
Just hit my 12-year mark, and it was very it's very weird because across the street from Tin Roof is now in 2 apartment buildings.
Yeah.
And when I moved here, there was a fucking gravel lot that I would leave my car in for 5 days, and not worry about having to get towed or a ticket or anything like that. Just sit there.
It's a
whole different atmosphere.
I mean, even where we're at now.
Yeah.
Like this
was never here.
Nothing. The Gulch was not the Gulch.
Not the Gulch. I think at that point we did have the pub. We had the pub at one point because I remember they did a whiskey jam down there in front of the pub. That's the night I met Reba, actually.
No way.
Not at whiskey jam. She wasn't at whiskey jam.
But she was down there.
I know. I happened to walk back on St. Patty's Day and come out of her. I was parked by her building, so I left my car and I drove out. And I see her coming out, and I'm like, "Who the hell is coming out of Reba's?" It's like 9:30 at night. Who's coming out of Reba's building at 9:30? I get to the fucking light in front of Tin Roof, and it's fucking Reba. It's Reba, and I mean, you can picture a black man hunking his horn, rolling his window down, screaming, Reba.
I would have done the same thing.
She rolled her window down and said, "Hi, baby."
No way.
Yep. "Hi, baby. How you doing?" Starstruck. Never happens. You're Reba. Like change. "Bye, baby. Have a good night." Gone.
Out of my life forever.
Out of my life forever. I'm just sitting there. Meanwhile, I'm sitting at a damn green light. Like, holy shit, that just happened.
That's what makes Nashville just like. I mean, it's just
you run into anyone.
Yeah,
you run into anyone. Right. It's just a matter of how you handle it.
Yeah.
You moved here in 2012. 10 years. Jesus. You've seen a lot. You and your brother.
Yeah. So Jacob's 12. Jacob moved 2 years before I did.
So did he convince you to move here, or were you were already going to move here and you just?
I think he was like the kind of last nudge I needed. I was working for a buddy of mine. He had an environmental company in Baton Rouge, and so I was working for him. He was doing like these kind of erosion control jobs around Baton Rouge, and I was still bartending at Fleming's. I was bartending at night. And I ended up going into work one day. Like, I got drunk the night before and I overslept. So I had to be at work at 5 at the environment. And so I wake up at like 7:30 one day. My phone's just going crazy. I look over, there's like 15 missed calls. And I was like, oh, God, all of them from him. I picked the phone up. I call him back. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry, man. Like, and he's just like, get to the office right now. And I was like, dang. I was like, well, I'm getting fired. But, it's like the whole drive in, I'm like, well, maybe this is a good thing. I'm like trying to convince myself, like, hey, maybe this is what was supposed to happen. When really it's like, no, dude, you were an idiot last night. Yeah. You got hammered on a Tuesday and you overslept. And so I get in, and he's super chill. He's like, hey, man, do you want to do this? And I was like, yeah. He's like, no. I know you work here and I know we pay you, but is this what you want to do? And I was like, no. He's like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, man, I think I want to write songs. I had not had any of that planned out. Like, obviously, I had been writing songs, and I knew Jacob was in Nashville. But it's not like I'd sat down and talked with anybody about, like, hey, I want to be a songwriter.
Right.
It was just something that I figured I would do, me and Jacob would do every once in a while. And I remember kind of being surprised at, like, wow, that was a weird answer, but, and he's like, well, then you need to move to Nashville. I was like, I think you're right. So he was going to fire me. Instead, he moved me to the landscaping side of the company. So kept me on. I became the weed eater guy on the grass cutting team, and I worked there for 3 more months. And he let me keep my job there, save some money, still keep my job bartending, and I was like able to move to Nashville with like at least enough money to where I didn't feel like, I could survive.
You can survive.
And but yeah, like I think talking to Jacob, I think what kind of led me to that answer and to be that fast with like, hey, I want to be a songwriter, was, I would come home from work or I would come home from bartending and I would have a message from him at like a writer's round, and he's watching like, Travis Meadows or Casey Beathard at the listening room, and while for the last 3 hours I've been pouring drinks for people, and I'm like, it kind of just got the ball rolling of like, well, dude,
and now you're playing the fucking listening round.
Yeah, dude. I know. Like, but I think that was like just the, Jacob constantly being like, hey man, I think you can, if you ever want to move down and write songs, like, I think him saying like, dude, I think you're talented enough to do it. But yeah, he was definitely the main reason that
has he always been the one person that you, well, now that you're married, but kind of been growing up that you not needed his approval, but you felt better when he approved of something you did.
Yeah, I mean, he's my best friend in the world.
Yeah.
But also, too, he's still my big brother.
Right.
So it's like, and I don't think that ever goes away, to where it's like, early on, like, I was sending him songs being like, hey, man, what do you think of this? And him, being honest, be like, hey, dude, this isn't that good. Like, my bad songs.
You need that one person.
Yeah. Like, you need, like, the backboard to be like, hey, man, what do you, like, is this up to par? Because, he had a publishing deal. He was writing with bigger names. Mm-hmm. And so I knew that if I was writing songs that weren't even as good as his bad songs, then I still had a little bit of work to do. So it was good to have him here to kind of bounce those ideas off of, which is, another reason why I feel like Nashville is great in that, like, the older songwriters are very quick to help out some of the younger classes. And
God, isn't that the truth?
I mean, like, and that's not the case in every world.
Not the case in every world.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm managing a writer now, and it's crazy because it's like I have friends who are successful writers, and you just need. I keep telling her because she's like, you got all these connections, and I'm like, it's not that I haven't asked. It's you just need one person to say yes.
Yeah.
And get in that room with that one person who's willing to be like, okay, I'm helping next generation. I'm helping next generation push forward and move forward. Not only, but also, like, I mean, if you look at it in a selfish way, we'll look at it as, but also I'm helping keep my name relevant because if this younger artist, this young writer or whoever becomes a number one hit songwriter, it could be with one of my songs that I co-write with them, or
Yeah.
But you're right. A lot of people don't do that because they want to stay with their small circle. Which is phenomenal because if it works, don't fucking break it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how that's kind of how this industry is at the same time.
I think it's all like I love writing with new artists because I had so many early on new artists, new songwriters. I had so many people early on that were like, could have easily been like, you know what, this kid's not ready yet. I'm not writing with him anymore, and instead, they took every co-writing session we had as a chance to kind of teach me, like, hey, man, you could do this here, or you could settle for that lyric, or we could sit here and kind of give ourselves a headache a little bit and make this song a little bit better.
Right.
And that's, I think, to where now it's kind of like, I hope that I'm that to some of these younger writers. Because, I mean, I needed it. I feel like everybody needs it.
Yeah, we definitely all need that. There's, like I said beginning about your brother. There's always that one person in your life that's gonna push you forward, or that you're gonna need to take a chance. Someone's gonna need to take a chance on you.
Yeah.
So you're signed what publishing company?
I'm with Anthem.
That's right.
Used to be Olay.
Used to be Olay.
Yep.
I got a story for you. And I can say this now because by the time this episode airs, the announcement would be out. But we just partnered up with a company for a podcast network. And the person who orchestrated the whole thing was Mr. Randall Foster.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And so I told him, like, I said, I have a whole list of.
I love Randall.
Yeah. When I do this whole thing, and when I start, I took a whole like 3-4 months off of planning. Now my brain didn't shut off, but physically planning this whole thing. And I have a whole list of people that I like. Oh, I want this person to be a guest. You get your ones it's gonna be a definite fucking no.
Yeah.
And you get the ones that's like, yeah, it's gonna be a yes. I know it's gonna be a yes. And so we're sitting in the room one day in his office, and he's like, so who you have for the first one? And I said, you know what? I haven't decided. I said, but you know what? I think I'm leaning towards Jordan Davis. And he goes, no, you're not leaning towards Jordan Davis. It's going to be Jordan Davis. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Even though you have no control over that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's going to be Jordan Davis.
Dude, Randall's the man, dude. I love.
He's like, I love Jordan. He's like, I love Jordan. He's like, tell Jordan. I said, I have to be sure to tell him that. I said, but just to let you know, this was not your decision. This was my decision. That I wanted.
I'm still captaining this boat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he's been, he's been helping out with everything and keeping it things going. But he was like, so when you said Anthem, I'm like, oh, that's right, Randall.
Yeah.
Randall.
Man, he was there from like early, I signed in 2015. Randall was there.
It was Olay at that point.
Yeah, Olay.
Yeah, my friend worked there. My friend Adrian worked there too. I was working behind in the building behind you guys for Renegade Radio at that point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was working there. We're not going to talk about that, but anyway.
Yeah, that was back when it was on 16th.
It was on 16th. Yeah. The good old time. So Anthem. So how did it come about that you picked Anthem? Because I'm sure that you went through publishing companies.
Man, I was so like, I still signed a publishing deal early. Like I still needed a little bit of time to grow a little bit. But man, Ben Strain was the first guy at Olay that kind of gave me a shot. This is a really funny story. So I found my deal at Olay. I lived with Josh Dorr.
Yeah.
Right whenever I moved to town, and so Josh signed a record deal about the same time as he signed with Olay, and so he was at Sony, and we were writing songs, and Dave Turnbull was at Olay too, and so Dave's got this fishing cabin outside of town. So they have a weekend where Ben Strain goes out there, my brother goes out there, Josh Dorr's out there. John Ozier was out there, and obviously Dave. And so we built this big fire, and we're drinking all day. We fished and drank all day. So we're sitting around this fire, and then the guitar comes out, and they start passing guitar around, and it gets to me, and I'm sitting there like getting my head. I'm like, oh crap! Like these are all publishers. I need to crush this.
Yeah.
I couldn't have played the song I played worse. Like, it was the absolute guitars out of tune, forgot lyrics, wrong chords. Like, everything is just like a disaster. And then I'm like, oh, I've got to fix this somehow. So then I just play a cover song. So I don't even play one of my songs. So I play a cover song and mess up one of my own songs. All right, so I wake up the next morning. I'm like, embarrassed. Barely sleep at all that night because I'm like, dude, you blew it.
Yeah.
Like, you had a chance to impress a couple of guys that could give you a job, and you blew it. So the next day I'm driving in, Ben Strain texts me and was like, hey, dude, I can tell you were pretty upset with yourself last night, and that really wasn't fair of us to, like, make you play something, like, on the spot. So come into the office next week and, play for me again, bring some CDs, and that's what started me getting a publishing deal at Anthem.
At that point in time,
Olay.
At that point in time, you needed you needed Luke Bryan to look at you and say, "I need for you to chill the hell out."
Exactly, dude. That's exactly what Ben told. Like 6 years before Luke did it, Ben was like, "Hey, dude, you need to chill out.
Chill out.
Come back in, regroup, play some more songs for me."
So clearly, you are a planner, my friend. You need to be prepared for everything going into
100%.
You need to be prepared for things and just keep going in. Can't be on the spot.
I feel like I can once I, yeah, no, I'm not. I can't even talk myself out of it.
Yeah.
Like I can't even try to act.
You even tried. You tried.
Yeah, I did. And I thought like, how can I get out of this? No, I need it to be like, it needs to be very seldom. Like even in shows now, where like we have a set list, we will deviate from it a little bit, but not too much. Like I'd like to be in like to know
you like everything the
Right.
same way every show.
Yeah.
Okay. Same set list. I get that. Well, at least we know you can't play on Eric Church's set,
That would be my nightmare. That would actually be a dream.
That would be a dream.
But it would also be yeah. That is the definition of a dream and a nightmare coming true right there. To just throw songs out.
Just throw songs out there.
We're getting better at it, I think that's the difference to where like there's some artists that can just be like, hey guys, here we go, like let's go. To where like with me, I want to be able to, I want to get to that point, but I just have to have rehearsals to be like, hey guys, literally in a rehearsal where we're in the middle of a set list, and I'll just turn around and be like, hey, we're gonna play Leaving New Orleans here, and we just jump into it. So we kind of like rehearse it. Because
it's still planning.
It's still planning it.
It's still
100%. Like still planning it, but
I'm curious to this because if I ever interviewed Eric Church, I'm also asking questions. How do you pick your set list? Because you have some sleepers.
Yeah.
On your albums that are not singles. Like I was on the way here trying.
Oh man, that one's definitely been one that we did a month of tour without playing that song. And I was tired of getting messages about not playing Trying. I swear to God.
Seriously.
Yeah. So
I listened. And it's funny because it was like the first time. I think it's the first time I actually heard the song, besides listening to the album. But I was just like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "I wonder if he plays this live, and why wasn't this a single?"
Yeah.
So how do you because you can't please everybody.
Yeah.
With all the songs you want to play.
Yeah.
So how do you pick your set list?
We used to do it to where like it was a thing of how do we cut songs down to where I can play every song. Like that was like my initial thought on it. That was before. Now we have too many songs where we can't do that. Like even in an hour and 45 minutes, we still can't play and me be able to talk the next day.
Right.
So we would just like pedal to the metal, play every song we can. Because I hated those messages from people like coming to a show, and I hated thinking that, damn, I hope that they didn't buy a ticket to hear that song, and I didn't even play it. But which you can drive yourself crazy doing that. But so initially it was pedal to the metal, play all the songs. To where now I play the songs that I feel like I can put the best show on.
Right.
So it's like if playing Trying is just playing a verse chorus and in a little stripped down acoustic set that we do, and I put that up with Church in the Chevy and Leaving New Orleans, and I just try to shrink that down and make those 3 songs special. That's kind of what we're doing right now. And then I used to also too like space out my singles so that like every 3 or 4 minutes like we're playing a radio single. To where now I'm like, you know what, that doesn't make for the best show.
Right.
So we play a lot of those singles within the first 25 minutes of the show, and then we just perform what we feel is the best show for a fan.
Right.
Whether they know the music or not, because I've just kind of viewed it as like, if they do know the music, they're going to love Singles You Up and Buy Dirt just as much as they're going to love Trying or Detours or whatever song you throw in there. But to me, it's just like, how can I give each song enough time to make that song special?
Right.
So
So
we changed it up a lot, but I view it more like that instead of like, all right, how do I spread these singles out to where it's,
if you have an issue now, imagine when you have 25 #1 hits.
I don't know how Luke does it. Like I read like any of them.
Could you imagine? I feel that way for George Strait with 60.
You got to play 3 nights just so you can get through all your number ones. Seriously.
I know.
Like,
it's like,
and two, what's crazy about that is like go back to Eric Church. Like, there's songs from Eric Church that like I wouldn't be mad,
right?
But like I'm going to hear different songs than probably what somebody else is going to hear. So like, my favorite song from him is old song, "Those I've Loved."
Ooh,
Those I've loved along the way. I've been to like 3 shows and he hasn't played it. It's still like I still love that song just as much.
I'm
but
going
like,
to see him tomorrow, so if he does play it, I'll video it and send it to you.
dude, please do. Are you really going to see him tomorrow?
I'm really
no way.
in Louisville.
Oh, bro, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
if you do, yeah.
If he plays that,
yeah. And then I'll be pissed that he didn't do it the ones that I was at. So. But yeah, like when you've got 6 albums worth of songs, how do you condense that down even to 2 hours?
Even the 2, it's crazy because it's like, you'll find on a later episode because I mentioned this in a later episode, but Keith Urban, I heard. Now I don't know. Again, I don't know how true this is, but Keith Urban apparently took out "You'll Think of Me" out of his tour for like the last 2 tours, and that was the first Keith Urban song I heard.
Yep.
Which I hated at one point, but then it was like once you get older, you're like, oh shit, this is a really good,
amazing song.
And he took it out for like, I guess it was the last 2 tours, and now he put it back in. He's putting it back in for this tour, and I'm just like, first of all, how do you like?
Dude,
those are Golden Road album is a staple for Keith Urban.
Yeah.
So how do you take out anything out of that fucking album in your set list? But when you had, I guess we had that many hits, and you're trying to be,
because you probably too like want to play newer stuff. Mm-hmm. With me, I'm not quite to that level yet, so like I'm not pulling off of 5 albums or 6 albums. And obviously, if you put the music out, you love it,
right?
So like you want to play those as well. But man, losing that, dude, like Raining on Sundays, Keith Urban, whew.
And he didn't play that for a while. No, the other one, I'm about to do an Instagram reel with it. You're everything. I want to be your everything. Man.
And I would riot. You don't play those 3 songs?
Man. One day, it's going to happen to you. Yeah. Well, it's already happening to you.
I know, dude. I'm telling you, man. It was a message from, I think we played Baltimore, and I didn't play Tryon. And this lady just lays into me. I was like, I'm sorry. I swear. I don't even know how to respond. I was just like, well, I'll play it next time, I swear. So
here's my question. So are you the one reading your DMs, or is it someone else reading your DMs for you?
No. I mean, I'm definitely made aware of them. Caleb reads a lot of them. I feel like I don't want to say majority of them. Like some of them are just like, I can't even really respond to them.
Right.
So it's like, but no, I mean, I try to keep an eye on them just in case of something like that. Like that was helpful to me to be like, oh, dang, maybe I'm missing this song. Maybe this song's connecting more people than I think it is.
Right.
So, and when they kind of started stacking up is when I was like, hey, guys, I think we should throw in Tryon and see how it goes. And then some of them are just like crazy DMs, But
what's been the hardest thing you had to go through?
I thought you were about to ask me what the weirdest DM I've gotten.
I mean, I was gonna go there, but I didn't. I don't know if you want to throw anyone into the bus.
Hey, that's on her, man.
Now I gotta know, what is the word?
Oh, dude, no, we can't do it here.
We were getting so much trouble. Kylie would never let me back on the show ever again.
It's a wild world out there, man. There's some forward people. I can promise you. Oh, dude.
I've seen an artist DM one time. I would not say the name of the artist I saw, but I was just like, holy shit.
I'm telling you, man. Not you, Eloise. Not you.
Oh, no God. I'm like, I don't know how. Wow.
Yeah.
You're a
I
ballsy.
sidetracked us right there. Yeah, that's what you say. You're saying, wow. All right.
You're a ballsy.
That's a confident girl right there, man.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's next for you? I'm not going to keep you too long, but what's next for you?
Man, we're really close on this next record. I think we're going to go in and record a few more songs, and I think the next record will be done. And, who knows when that'll be out, but, we're releasing new music, and then we've got a lot of festivals this summer that we're looking forward to. A lot that I haven't played in a long time. Watershed's on there, Tortuga, and too, like, great days. Like, a lot of times you'll play those festivals and you'll miss, like, your buddies that are there. All those festivals for us, like, they just landed on good days.
Are you playing the Atlantic? There's an Atlantic City one as well. Festival.
I don't think I'm doing that one.
Okay, because I know the same headliners are on the Tortuga ones
as that one.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I'm doing that one. But we're doing, a lot of fairs. Like, I love, man, like county fairs. I know, like, a lot of people.
Those are the best,
dude. I love them, man.
Those are the fucking best, man.
I've always heard, early on, like, oh, summers are nothing but county fairs, and I'm like, dude, bring them on, man. Those are just so much fun.
I also wonder, being an artist, how hungry do you get when you smell that funnel cake though on stage?
That's the only That's the only worst part is, like, you kind of are in a spot where you're at the mercy of the food at the fair, which is sometimes awesome.
Sometimes awesome,
and majority of the times not awesome.
I feel bad for Carrie, who's a vegan.
Yeah, she's not. Yeah,
but your own food on that one, there,
right.
buddy.
I think that's the thing is, like, when you're just trying to eat somewhat healthy, like, it's tough. But man, the shows are great. Luckily, like, me and the band love to play golf, so, like, we'll go golf during the day and then do the shows at night. But fairs.
That cigar.
I know, man.
You got water right there.
I know, dude. What am I doing? I'm trying to, like, I'm over here, instead of drinking water, I'm just, like, interrupting the podcast.
I'll leave it to Jordan.
But yeah, we're playing a lot this summer. We have a tour that's about to announce that I can tell you off air, but we can't do it here.
Tell me off air. Yeah.
Yeah. But man, it's gonna be it's a great one. I'm looking forward to it. And then just getting back out on the road full time. I'm hoping.
How have you balanced? Obviously, with pandemic, it's been a little easier. But how have you balanced family life and touring?
We're about to find out. Like, we are. We did, last the By Dirt tour, the first part with Seaforth McKenzie. Like, a couple weekends, my wife came out. Lachlan was born, but it wasn't like he can travel.
Right.
So we had a lot of family around. So Kristen always had help. To where now, family's all gone back home. So it's Kristen at home with both of them. I really think it's just going to be, until we can get them all out.
Right.
It's just going to be, go out there, maybe fly in day of, get it done, fly back as soon as you can. But yeah, that's going to be the.
That's tough. Because I see firsthand, with Jimmy, and it's tough because sometimes Jimmy is gone 2-3 weeks at a time.
I mean, dude, that dude is Jimmy Allen. Jimmy, I love you, buddy. I don't know how you do it, man. That dude is a go-getter.
That is a go-getter. But it's just, it's crazy though, because when especially for wives, when wives marry into it, it's like they understand what they got themselves into.
Yeah.
Or they think they understand what they got themselves into. But then when that stardom starts to elevate.
When it hits.
And when it really hits, and you have to, now you're gone, bullshit number, but 300 days out of the fucking year.
I mean,
for some people,
far off.
Yeah, for some people that's actually true. But it's like when you're gone that much from your family, you're missing out. You're missing out on first steps. You're missing out on first laugh and things like that. It's like people don't realize, and fans they don't fully get how much you're actually sacrificing
Yeah.
to entertain them.
Well, somebody, and I'd heard this from, I can't remember exactly who said it, but it's you get paid for the time away from your family, not to play music. You do that for free, which is true.
Which is very true.
Like, I would go up and play a show tonight anywhere in Nashville with my band and everybody at the drop of a hat. I would go do it. It's just when it's like, hey, this is a 30-show run, 3 shows on the West Coast, so you're either flying back or it's like, well, I'll just stay out there. And it's like, all right, now you're away from your family for 2 weeks. Right. So it's like you said, like you're youngsters, young kiddos, you're missing a lot of those things. So that sank in with me. And two, it's like, and I feel like I've had this conversation, and I'm not saying, me and Jimmy have had this talk before, because we're both new and we both are, building
an empire.
We're building on some success.
Yeah.
So like, it's tough to just totally block that out and be like, all right, well, I'm not going to go do Dancing with the Stars because I know how much that's going to involve. Instead, it's like, well, this is my job.
Right.
And that's not fair of me to single him out on that because I know that was like probably a lot of inner struggle and like that's a lot of time for my family. That's, and too, like him touring where it's like, I just feel like it's with Jimmy where I'm close enough with him where I can have those conversations of like, hey, dude, at some point we have to
become dads.
Yeah. And it's like we can't just keep grinding and grinding and grinding because I know I'm much like Jimmy in the sense of like I'll do it until
and we've had that conversation as well. And what I've noticed, when you get to a certain level, like Tim McGraw, I use Tim McGraw because Tim McGraw is like the prime example of work-life balance of being a dad and a husband. And being Tim McGraw, Tim only toured in the summertime, but he never toured. He didn't. His tours never started until his kids were out of school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when they got old enough, and it's like, oh, you can come and roll me for the summertime, where you fly with me for whatever weekends or do whatever. It was like, oh, I'm gone because I'm not really missing out on football games, sports, and things like that. So
he's there for that.
You're able to do that. And there will come a time.
There'll be a time where you can, you can dictate that
exactly.
More. But like now
it's like you got to get to the grind to be able to dictate that.
Yeah.
And how's your wife being able? She's been understanding with that because I know that obviously there's gonna be days where it's like, I fucking wish you were here. You need to be like, you know what I mean?
I mean, we have like and some nights where that's happening an hour before we're up there playing the show.
Yeah.
It's like you're calling to say night to the kids.
Yeah.
And then you're fighting with your wife and your tour manager comes in and it's like, hey, dude, we're on in 40. And you're like, all right. And you kind of got to switch over to like, all right, well, I got to go. This is my job.
Right.
Like, and I can't let that bleed over into this. But she's great. I mean, she gets it. She knows. I think she just wants me to be able to see that balance as well to where it's like, because she can see it too. Like, when you FaceTime with the kiddos and, you've been out on a run or whatever and she's like, hey, you're tired. And I can tell, it's like, well, it's a tiring job.
It's a tiring job. This industry is not for the sake of art.
Yeah. I sleep in a 6 foot by 3 foot box at 75 miles an hour down the highway. I didn't sleep great. Like,
It didn't rock me to sleep like it was supposed to. It kept me up.
But
damn.
But she's handling it. She's handling it great.
That's good. I mean, it's just like I said, it's a struggle on relationships. It's a struggle. It's a struggle on friendships. When you might need to relate that. Oh no, you don't. Wow.
This really is a great cigar.
It really. Flathead, if you were listening, I need a box of these.
Smoking section brought to you by Flathead. That's got a good ring to it.
That got a good ring to it. I got a good ring to it. I might be calling you for some liners on that one, buddy.
I'll do them. I'll do them for a box of these cigars.
I might be doing that. But no, it's a strain on friendships because I had many conversations with friends about, you know, when you are elevating yourself in your career, you're not going to have much time for social
Yeah.
life or going to Tin Roof like I'm going to after this after this recording.
We've been there though. Trust me, I've been there.
We're not like we can't do it. We have to make sacrifices of things, and I think when you work in this industry, people don't understand the sacrifices that you have to make.
Yeah.
I don't go home and see my family, as much as I would like to. I think it's my family once a year, twice a year.
Yeah.
But that's because we're in an industry where if I were to take a week off away from Nashville, Tennessee, I could possibly miss out on an opportunity on something.
I mean, dude, it's true.
It's true.
It's sad, but it's true.
Yeah.
And I think that's just where that balance comes in of like, you know what, you have to learn to be okay with that. And I'm not saying I'm not saying I am there.
Yeah.
Because I am very much so like I don't have that balance down yet.
Neither do I.
And there's good things to being here and working hard. Like, but yeah, it's just a constant like thing of it's something I'm always working at.
And we'll continue to work at.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
We'll continue to work at. Well, my friend, when's your next show here in Nashville?
Man, we're playing the Ryman in, I believe, September.
Oh.
2 nights at the Ryman. So it's going to be pretty wild.
I'll be there.
That's even weird saying that.
You're selling out 2 nights at the Ryman?
I don't think the second one sold out, but the first one did well.
It will.
I hope
the second
so.
one is definitely going to sell out.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of walk-ups.
Yeah.
That's usually how that happens in the second one.
Yeah.
But it's going to sell the fuck out.
No, you're going to be there. You ain't getting out of that. We may pregame here, I think.
Yeah. Exactly. No, we can't have you smoke a cigar before you go on stage.
That's true.
We can't have you do that.
Well, then we'll just post. We'll just post second show.
We'll
here.
post second show.
There you go. That sounds better.
We can't be having that. I can't take the blame. Although I did take the blame one night when I. So here's a funny story for you guys. Went out one night. I went to see. Who was that? It was Jameson Rogers, Carly Pierce, Jimmy Allen, Tennille Towns, and Jordan Davis at Listening Room. This is actually the first time me and Jordan met in person.
Yeah.
And we got a certain artist drunk because we found out that she didn't drink. We didn't know that
I don't even remember. Who was it?
It was Tennille.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't know that she didn't drink, and someone kept sending her shots, and then we sent a round of shots up to the crowd.
Oh, sent around.
Sent
like
around.
10.
Yeah. We won't discuss the number of amount of shots we're taking that night, but we ended up at Luke Bryan's that night, the bar, not his house, the bar, and for Jameson's after party, and I remember like it was yesterday. Jordan was a little 3 sheets to the wedding, and so was I. And I said, Jordan, you all right? He goes, my wife is a little mad at me. I gotta go home. I said, well, tell her you're out with a black guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what the fuck is that? I'm like, well, if you tell her you're out with Jimmy Allen, then you'd be good. And she goes, no, I'm going to tell her you're Mark. I said, no, my name doesn't carry weight.
She wouldn't have. Yeah, she wouldn't have out if I was with Jimmy. She's seen that play out before. But now it does carry some weight.
Now it does carry some weight.
Yeah. Now next time I can just say like, hey, I'm with Marcus.
Now it does carry some weight.
God, dude, that was a fun night, but a terrible next morning.
That was a terrible next morning for all of us. I remember waking up. I had a meeting next morning, and I remember I was like, guys. It was a Zoom, actually. And I put on a polo shirt. And I had my pajamas on afterwards. And once the meeting was over, I went right back to bed.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I doubt I got out of bed the next day. I didn't get home till like 3:30.
It was a long night.
Long night.
It was a long night. Jimmy disappeared and went home.
Because he's smart.
He was smart. He just went home. I texted him, I was like, where are you at? And he was like, I'm already home. I'm like, when the fuck did you leave, bro?
I ended up walking down to the diner.
That's where you went?
Dude, walked down to the diner and just rolled in. Dude, I just rolled into that like little bottom bar or whatever. And I was like, I'll just go in there because I was starving. I was like, I'll just go in here and try to get something to eat.
Man.
And then I walked in there and one person said hello, and I was like, you know what? This is probably not the best shape to be taking photos at Broadway.
Not at all. Not at all.
So I just walked outside, got an Uber, and went home.
Not at all.
Yeah.
That was a fun night.
Great night.
We should have that. We should make that happen again.
We need to.
Yeah, that was a fun night. So, but one more question before we go here. Any advice? Not really a question, but any advice you want to give to an up and coming artist?
Man, never stop thinking that you can get better at anything. Never stop thinking that you can get better as a songwriter, as a performer, as a communicator. Like there's always room for improvement. And I think that like it's easy to get caught up in like because you have the goal of like, I just want a record deal, and then you get the record deal, and it's easy to get caught up in like, all right, well, now I just got to put music out. It's like, no, the greats, the best ones, they never stop. They never stop bringing somebody in to help make their show better. Like, and so I think that's been. I had to learn that lesson. So I would that would be, along with a laundry list of other things.
You're never perfect.
Never perfect. You can always get better at something.
I think that's a life lesson for everybody.
Anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I've rolled that over into everything.
Yeah. You can always get better at it.
Everything.
Wow. Well, there you have it. This has been Season 5 opener of Smoking Section Podcast. Go follow us everywhere. Stream it everywhere. Download it. Tell your friends. And also tell your friends about this tall lumberjack guy who actually shaved his beard, guys. His beard is actually.
I did trim it up a little.
He trimmed it up a little bit. His beard is. He looks good. He looks good. It's a nice beard. I wish I could grow a beard like that. I can't.
You can do it though.
No. I have a hard time maintaining the little scrub that I have now compared to yours.
Hey.
No.
I'll grow it for both of us. That's kind of weird. See what's happened? We're a weekend. We're derailing it.